What's happening, folks? This is Kev, and this is Black Men Being Brutally Honest for the, I don't know, sixth, seventh year in a row. Yeah, let me give some shout outs real quick and let's get on with the show. Shout out to the members of the channel. Thanks for your support month after month. Members of the channel are as follows: Greg, Aaron P, Phil Brad, Gone for Milk, Indigo Flow, D Rock Den, American Negro News, Barry Little, Yamcha 11, Black Pearl, Andre 420, Revelator the Spirit of Variance, The Builder's Table, Sower of Seed, Detroit 313, Black Light Revelations 2, Blue Marvel 9. All right, shout out to everyone there. Also, shout out to the moderators, the replay gang as well. The replay gang is very important because um, they take their time to come back on their own time to watch these shows. So that is always awesome. Always. Uh, yeah. So also, let me shout out to the chat real quick before we get started. Got Phil Brad, Early Bird. There we go. Good show. Phil Brad is the historic early bird. So salute to you, sir. We also got uh the builders table. That's Gold Professor. What's good? Good to see you. Got RPM in the building. And we got Dunn, Jizzle, interracial culture, hashtag SYSBM bros. What's up? Gone for Milk just came in the building. What's good? So, all right. So now that all of that is out the way, is anyone I missed? Oh yeah, long live the habitual line steppers. Yeah, long live. So, all right. So I think it's always going to be safe to say that there's always going to be a somewhat of a divide among black men. Hold on one second. Yeah, there's going to be a divide among black men, and I'm not going to go ahead and say that that is always a bad thing. People, you know, love to draw lines in the sand for some reason, and that is something that is going to be unavoidable. So, if anyone is trying to misconstrue this as a hatred against black men in particular, I'm going to go ahead and just make the claim that it isn't. And I do understand that no matter how many times I explain this to people, what's good, Rob? Black Light Revelations 2 is in the building. No matter how many times I'm going to explain this to some people, I'm still going to catch flack for it, no matter what. It's just the nature of it. It's the nature of being on one of these podcasts. Always and forever will side with the black man, keeping his narrative alive. Oh, I will always do that, no matter what. You know, I'm never gonna be the certain black man can do it guy either. I'm not gonna be that guy either. And this is what one, maybe two or three of these guys are preaching. I'm never gonna be that guy. So I'm gonna also say that each one of these guys have the right to say what they say, but we also have the right to disagree with it as well. Uh, the men pictured here are D.L. Hughley and Steve Harvey. If those two names are familiar to some of you Gen Xers, maybe some of you millennials too, those are two of the kings of comedy. And the irony of that is they're not even the funniest out of those guys, but they are still around. So there's some credence to this kind of gatekeeping thing. So and I want, I'm saying this because I want black men to know that they're coming for you. They're coming for you. You already got various facets of the media that are democratic leaning starting to speak of the red pill podcasters, the masculinity, toxic masculinity podcasters that, you know, that Tim Waltz is a model of masculinity. I ain't gonna, this ain't about Tim Waltz though. Whatever they decide, that's on them. It is what it is at this point. So good luck if your candidate, if you're listening, if your candidate wins, then so be it. Whether that candidate is one or the other. You know, is there such if there is ever such color as off black, you know what I'm saying? It probably would be time to coin this term, but what we're focused on is actual black men, actual black men that are born and bred here in America, except for maybe one of these guys. But this it's like, okay, I said that they do have a right to say what they say, but I also have a right to challenge it and to disagree with it. And I have no ill will toward these men in whatever I'm about to say. I don't know, it might be a couple cuss words here and there, but for those who've been listening to me long enough, they know. So we got hybrid catastrophic impact X83rd power in the building. Ray Hummer, the Hummer Force. What's going on? I mean, I say you pulled 13 hours. Yeah. Hard worker. Shit. I remember those days when I was younger. I mean, shit. But hey, good for you. Andre 420 in the building. So let me continue with identifying who these gentlemen are. So the one with the big head, that's D.L. Hughley. Of course, that's a picture of him sitting down, thinking about some stuff that happened in his life. Steve Harvey, yeah, like I said, two of the kings of comedy. Barack Obama with the tissue on his eye. We got Wendell Pierce. My first memory of Wendell Pierce was Waiting to Exhale. Yes, he was the guy that got lucky. He was depicted as the black guy that got the luckiest. And as the movie progressed, he was in the club with another broad. I mean, the first he got lucky with like prime Leela Roshan. You know, it was almost as if he was being depicted as the guy that she felt sorry for, so she gave him some. And it was like she thought that was gonna be the crowning moment in his life. But then she sees him in the club some time later with another woman because he has already adapted to being a player. Yes. I got an article to show y'all in a minute with him saying some old janky shit. Yeah, yeah. This is Wendell Pierce down here, the big guy. And of course, for the few thousand Americans that can recognize this guy, this is Ricky Smiley. Someone I should be very supportive about or supportive of or whatever. But it's like we said, is black men. We don't do crotch politics when it comes to black men. A lot of black men that do speak on black men's behalf, on even on themselves behalf, we do it Uh, we do it because we feel we have to. Is it's not anything based on, and I really hate to say it this way, having each other's back. So it's okay for me to say that the black men pictured right here, they do not represent me. Okay. I've heard some ridiculous fucking shit having a large Facebook group, just for having an opinion. There would be guys that would tell me that I don't represent them. And I would be like, fine, great, awesome. But those were those days. Those were those days. I just brought that up as, people been saying ridiculous shit for a long time. So I didn't care. You represent yourself. As long as we all use common sense, I think we'll all be great. But for the amount of shit that the amount of bullshit that these guys spew, like we don't see what's going on in 2024 because we've updated our thinking to somewhat critical, whether you agree or disagree with how critical some of us are being. I don't think this is very critical. I think this is rinse, repeat crap that these guys keep saying. And I'm sick of people saying, regurgitating shit. And I have people in my family that went through the actual stuff. Not that that makes me better than other black people in this country. I don't want to make that mistake in trying to give that impression off. But um the thing is like I know what that's really like. It's not it's like trying to check a New Yorker on 911. That's some shit you don't want to do. I've seen that before. So to continue to use this whole, civil rights murders and, you know, the experiences of black Americans in those parts of the country, to minimize that to a virtue signal, to give that support to a party that it's like you can't even say you can't even say they make promises they don't keep. I mean, I would say a couple of them, but I don't have any evidence of that, so I don't want to just seem like I'm lying because it's that's what people do. People are allowed to fact check you. Yeah. But anyway. Let me play a little bit of audio for you guys. And I'll probably play this out. Fair use on audio, by the way. The YouTube channel, Indisputable with Rashad Ritchie. Revelator Spirit of Variance. What's going on? All right. Indisputable with Rashad Ritchie. To if you guys listen to that guy, I believe he's an extension of the Young Turks. Um Go ahead and play this for y'all real quick. First voice, I mean, this is a video about supposedly Ricky Smiley and DL Hughley telling the truth. You probably put the link in the description post this broadcast. Yep, fair use hybrid. Yeah. I mean, say what you want. I mean, it's like I said, these guys don't represent me. It is what it is. It's clown shit. I mean, if you choose me as a representative and I don't know about it, let me just say at least let's talk about it first. But it's not something that is very important to me. So if there are guys out there, and I've heard this kind of thing before in spaces like this, There's guys that just throw it out there for, haters' sake that, oh, those guys over there don't represent me. I'm glad. Awesome. These guys on this screen that belong to this multimedia gatekeeping stuff, nah, they don't. So here we go.
Brother, they go off on critics about Kamala Harris. Here it is.
I'm just sick of the black people on the internet talking about I'm not with her. Okay, so if you're not with her, that means you with Trump. Y'all need to block every last one of their asses on Facebook and on Instagram and social media and stop. Like that's just garbage.
Oh, can y'all hear that? Can y'all hear that? Put a one in the chat. Did y'all hear what? That was Ricky Smiley. This is on Indisputable with Dr. Rashad Ritchie. He has 1.12 million subs. This video has 218K views. And Ricky Smiley said he is tired of black people on the internet being critics of Kamala Harris. You heard what he said? Block them. And blocking you niggas. Said you niggas should be blocked. Like, wow. I have a lot to say.
Yeah, it's just garbage.
Can everybody got united on anything?
Can't agree on a damn bucket of chicken. One person want a hot dog.
I always complain.
Black folks get on my damn nerves, man. Why everybody making all these celebrities making all these videos going off on Kamala Harris and stuff, and then the black men, Kamala Harris didn't prosecute you.
The black men, and why all these celebrities? Like, to invalidate the concerns of black people when electing a candidate to office, if there's ever that exists in large quantities, besides spaces like these, please point me to them. Because black people on the internet, this is what I be talking. This is what I'm talking about. When we have two sides to this beast. We have two sides to this beast. It's the mainstream media, which has gotten involved at this point, and this is what a lot of people claim they wanted: the fame and the attention. And you got the people that will fight to maintain the status quo. And they look like you and me. You ever tried to speak to a staunch Democrat? If you disagree with the support for their party, they will treat you like an idiot. This is not me exaggerating. This is not me crying and whining about stuff. I welcome the discourse, but it is what it is. They treat you like an idiot. They treat you like they're unwilling to talk to you. They don't want to hear shit you got to say. What I'm getting tired of is, people always saying bullshit like, oh, okay, if you don't support this, you support that. If you don't support Kamala Harris, you support Donald Trump. That's BS. You don't have to support either. Like, well, why is there such an attack on free and critical thinking from black men? I mean, I already said where it was with black women. I mean, shit, you're Simone Sanders and you're Brittany Coopers and you're Tiffany Crosses and you're Malika Andrews and, bitches on YouTube, like shit like that. But we can't ignore this either. Because the next thing, and I don't want to be a fear mongering guy. The next thing they're gonna come for y'all. They're gonna come for y'all voices, our voices. Yeah. Is this what we want? Do we want this smoke from a bunch of famous ninjas? Hold on one second. A bunch of famous ninjas. Let me show you what Wendell Pierce said. No. Wait a minute. I'm supposed to be playing this audio because uh what DL Hughley said was fucking ridiculous. Like, continue to
And treated you bad in court. I got treated bad in court too. But I'm with her because a vote for her. If you sit at home and you don't support her, you are definitely supporting Donald Trump. You can vote for who you want to, but don't be trying to encourage other people and sit up there and put bad stuff. Where's that same energy for Donald Trump?
Yeah.
You
Well,
know what I'm saying?
I'm just like, don't vote for him. It is what it is.
Y'all not even out here doing real research. And look at her record. If you do the research,
there's a lot of people out here doing real research. I don't believe that people understand or try to remember Trump's first presidency, where people basically roasted him for 4 years. There was a lot of energy for Trump. I get tired of these excuses. Coming from these dudes. You know, these guys, don't let it fool you because they're famous. These guys are no smarter than you and me. Vote for Donald Trump. That shall chaos reign out already. Miss Bernice, sit your old ass down. What's good, Indigo Flow? I want to know why hasn't, and I don't know if he has, why Ricky Smiley hasn't spoke with Ice Cube to help ensure people can implement a more sound decision when voting for a presidential candidate. I can only guess and theorize as to why that is. I would have to say because female-led men. And I'm not saying this in this Manispherian type way or black Manispherian type way. What I'm saying is like we seen black women get really adversarial with Ice Cube on a conference call. On a conference call, and it's just that it's just like people disavowed anything to do with that plan for Black America, and people feel how they feel about Ice Cube. But it was just an example of why there are a lot of quote unquote black people, and I'm going to go ahead and say it. And I don't, like I said, I don't represent you, but there have been quite a few black men that are concerned and worried. Yeah. So yeah, Ricky Smiley. I mean, Ricky Smiley was in Friday After Next. I mean, so he has a inroad to Ice Cube. That man was the well, he was the crooked Santa that kept breaking in people's houses. The man that stole the extra medium shirt. And I have to say, if there was a peak in Ricky Smiley's career, I know he had a television show. I know he had the little Daryl joke because I laughed the first time he said, "Leave me alone." I laughed the first time he said that. I did. It was on that Little John and the East Side Boys video. You know, we like them girls. You know, that was way back. That was what, 24 years ago. That was the first time I ever seen Ricky Smiley do shit. And he made a career from that from then on. Didn't he host Comic View also? I think he did. I don't know. Maybe. Yes. Then he had a sitcom on TBS. Not to say, you know, I'm just listening to man's accomplishments, giving the credit where credit is due. He had a reality show. His son passed away. He says one of the biggest reasons why he supports Kamala Harris is because he received a phone call from her um when his son passed. Feel how you want to feel about Kamala. If she did that, and if it's on some genuine shit, that's cool. It is what it is. But to belittle and berate anyone, I'm going to say this, to belittle and berate anyone who wants to think critically about their vote, that's inexcusable. That's completely inexcusable. I don't care what people say. These black men trying to please the sisterhood are really pathetic. It. I mean, I think a lot of it's that, but I mean, a lot of it is for relevance and staying afloat. I would say, especially, I would say for DL Hughley, because for me is it. I would DL Hughley. Would he be in my top 20 comedians? Maybe he would be. I would say top 15. If I can think of 15 black comedians or 15 comedians altogether, because I think Gallagher and especially George Carlin did his thing. If we're talking about comedians all together, Sam Kinison was ruthless as fuck too. But DL Hughley, aside from his comedy career that went from potentially great to kind of mediocre, he had his television show, The Hughleys. I never watched The Hughleys. I watched like 2 or 3 episodes, and I'm not saying it's on some hating shit either. I just wasn't convinced. I didn't get attached as, shows like, I'm going to say it, The Cosby Show, Martin, A Different World, shows like that. I ain't even do that with my wife and kids. Even though this has nothing to do with Damon Wayans or anybody like that. But let me show you this article right here. No, wait a minute. I was supposed to be still playing audio. Sorry, my bad.
Search or whatever. Stop believing everything you read and do real research. You can see what a record is. You can see what she have done.
With millions watching and many people benefiting from this program called Indisputable, we just need 1% of the viewers to become a paid member so we can continue to bring this content to you. Now back to the show. There are some people, obviously, who look for perfection out of candidates. Don't know why, they never give it to you. Harris has some things, obviously, that some disagree with, including myself, and many I do agree with. But
yeah, that's Rashad Ritchie speaking. Let me see if I can fast forward. DL Hughley publicly apologizes to Kamala Harris. Felt that's something that he had to do because he went in on her at one point about the incarceration rates, and then he tries to explain his way out of it. Comedy Hype did a video saying that DL Hughley was, quote unquote, called a bitch for this apology that you are about to hear. Mahogany Roots and MJ is in the building. Hello, how are you? Thank you for being here. Yeah, so I'm gonna play this apology for you. I'm not a huge fan. If anybody called the man a bitch, they wrong. We don't. What we don't want to do is a Will Smith. We don't want to slap a black man in front of everybody. I would say that. Even though Bad Boys Ride or Die was pretty good, it's pretty good. So, yeah. So, here's the apology.
I'm paraphrasing, but that is what the preacher said, and I thought it was significantly correct. So also, meanwhile, DL Hughley, who has been critical of VP Harris, had this to say in an apology. Here it is.
We had a conversation at the dinner we had, and it was not always, it got contentious, and I had to apologize to you because I had let a media narrative co-opt my perspective. And I think that tends to happen with women and people of color. I think that we oftentimes hear this call, this siren.
Women, people of color. Yes. That's what we do. Um, whatever about women, but you guys, for those of you who's been listening for a while, you know how I feel about that POC label. It burns me the fuck up. Like I said, it's a label that puts black folks back in the back of the bus. Back at the back of the bus. I mean, you can agree, you can disagree. I can explain it to you in plain English how that people of color shit puts us at the back of the bus. But all right. So let me continue.
Call that is it's so mesmerizing that sometimes you believe it. And I had to apologize to you because you were a prosecutor. I grew up in California. I love that state, and what I saw happen to it, I equated it with elected officials, and I lumped you in with it. But some of the things that I have subsequently come to learn about you not only make me proud of you, but make me be an advocate for you. I'm proud of the things you've done. I'm proud of what you're trying to do for this country. This administration is trying to do for this country, and I can say in front of them, I'm sorry that I ever let somebody tell me what I should have known from the beginning. And I'll use my voice not as I'm not a paid, but I'm not. I don't even like politics all that much. It's ironic to me. Right. But I think you have done what you said you would do. And there was a time that I didn't believe it. And I have to say that I'm sorry. And
fair use. Hey, but this ain't even the end of it. It's about to get a little crazier. I mean, he does this radio show. So, yeah, you about to hear that.
I'm going to do what I have to do to make sure you get the word out and make sure that people understand you have done everything you've promised. And I am proud of you. So.
Oh, dear.
What did she promise? If anybody in the chat knows what she promised and what she did, and you put it in the chat and educate me, please. That's word is bond. I'll say that. And Detroit 313, thank you for the super chat. He said Spike Lee on the list as well. And you know what? We have Google, so I'm gonna look up what the fuck Spike Lee said. So I rock with Boule Ninjas. He's so corny. All right. Oh dear, that man makes me puke. She promised that she destroyed black families. Oh God, yeah, that is horrible. I cannot be proud of a chameleon. I cannot be proud of someone who has shown and proved that she is not for you nor me. Yeah. Oh, you don't rock with Boule Ninjas. Oh, okay. All right. Cool. All right. DL is trash. Oh, dude, it gets crazier though. Yeah. Here we go. More audio. Fair use. Fair use.
Thank you.
D.L. Hughley, true to his word, called out critics.
Kamala Harris did not, in fact, lock up the thousands of people that I said she did. I told that lie, and I have apologized to her. Not only have I apologized, I've said to her, not only am I going to keep apologizing, because I think it did that much damage, I am going to do what I can do to make sure you become the 47th. At this time, I said to her when I apologized, I'm going to make sure you get elected. I didn't say re-elected. I said elected. And now here it is, that opportunity. To me, that is divine. That is something that's supposed to have happened. If you are the people right now who are misquoting her record, we are not the same. If you believe that her locking people up from weed is worse than a man who says he wants to give dope dealers the death penalty, we are not the same. If you want me to...
He said, I mean, even if the words are being twisted up, which, if he really said that, I would like to know that he want to get a dope deal as the death penalty. I mean, doing something tangible versus somebody saying words and being intangible, I would say that the tangible thing was a lot worse. I mean, but that's just sort of, a bit critical, but you know, you be the judge of that.
Remember her past, but not Trump's past. We're not the same.
Straw man.
If you want to
Straw
remind me of
man.
her record, but don't want to talk about Project 2025,
Yeah, there you go. Project 2025 and Trump. Like, I hate these conversations because I did the same thing with Biden for some people, and the first thing out their mouth is something about Trump. No, let's stick. Like, what we have to do with as black man is to stop apologizing. Don't do what this nigga's doing. Stop apologizing. Stop trying to explain. We here on social media we throw out disclaimers because despite the fact that we want to be unapologetic at times, people use interpretation as an excuse to try to destroy your freedom of speech. Detroit 313. Shadowstar Games. I see you down there. Indigo Flow. How is one person going to make sure somebody gets elected? What is he talking about? He's talking about. This is a shot in the dark. He's talking about his dedication to the cause. He's talking about his dedication to the cause. Like he's gonna, he's every time he does a show, he's gonna say something good about Kamala Harris without really saying what all this good is all about. Just like the rest of these men. Yeah. So, oh yeah. I want y'all to listen to this as well. And this verifies a lot of hypocrisy. Again, love who you love. Kamala locked up more than 1,500 black men for nonviolent crimes and sentenced them to 10 years or more. Also attending that, ignoring the evidence of innocent locked up, she ignored completely. Tulsa saying, facts. Oh, these Democrats are clearly crazy. Yeah, they're crazy, and their voter base is crazy too. Their voter base is as bad as they say the Republican voter base is. They probably naturally calm down. It's like overwhelmingly. Maybe I just stay in black circles. I don't go to the white circles too much because of reasons that I believe are reasonable. I see these discussions are at an all-time high. I would have to say that this is probably the most divisive election that I've ever witnessed. The 2024 presidential election, because we seem to be making this choice between wanting our feelings intact versus wanting what's best, and this is what we're facing here. And just for the record, we could be wrong in our assessments. Many of us could be. So let me continue to play this audio. This more craziness from DL Hughley.
You ever know the same black people that want to tell you she sold all these weed and locked all these people up, tell you they don't believe that 2025 is Trump's plan for a second term? There is a reason for that. If you're telling me you're not going to vote for her because she has a white husband, then we're not the same. But if you're going to say she has a white husband, you better have a black wife when you say it. Don't tell me that somebody's Latin or Asian. I think that shouldn't be the predicate anyway. But if you are accusing her marital choices, you better make sure yours are in line with the accusations you make.
Oh, okay. So here's the choice of words. He really saying that to black men because he said, if you're saying that, you better have a black wife. So he's talking to men. He's not talking to women. Even though there are some women out there. There was a woman that spoke at the what was that? What was that black woman? She spoke at the rally in Atlanta and she went viral. I forget her name. Or I could be wrong about the location. I mean, it wasn't the RNC because then people gonna try to default to Amber Rose, another off black person. Shoot. The one she's the one that asked Willie Brown wife if she care about the black family or something like that. I may be misquoting, I may be getting it slightly wrong, but uh the Democrats are playing a dangerous game of psychological manipulation. That's why they were able to run an operant condition 4-day concert and mention no policies. It was a Trump bashing session. I'm gonna play DL Hughley's speech from the RNC. I mean, they don't they're they're clearly not taking this seriously. And it's a shame that, for the highest office in the land to be at stake, supposedly, those are supposed to be the optics, the highest office in the land to be at stake. They're conducting themselves this way. And for all of the leaning Democrats that might be listening to this, you're probably already in, saying bullshit like I must be for Trump. So yeah, whatever. But yeah, also to point out that she has a white husband is for me that go we're gonna go ahead, and I don't think this should be negotiable with black men whatsoever. I think we need to go ahead and kill the entire interracial dating and marriage argument. Saying stupid shit like if a black man marries a non-black woman or a white woman, that all his money is going to the white people and all this other bullshit. That argument needs to go away. Or there will always be conflict. There will always be conflict, and motherfuckers like DL Hughley immediately turned around and dick policed as soon as he said that. Immediately, you better have a black wife if you're saying that. What? So what you're doing is you're invalidating a black man's blackness by saying that, that I mean, how much more can I explain it? You're invalidating a black man's blackness by saying that he's doing the very thing that Kamala is walking into the White House with. And she supposedly it is this melanated queen. Comic View was trash. Comic View had his good points, man. Comic View. Michaela Montgomery. Oh, okay. Michaela Montgomery. She was the one that dressed down Kamala Harris. And you know what? I don't care how many times you're gonna dress Kamala Harris down. Anybody at this point, that train is that train is full steam ahead. I'm sorry, guys. Well, we don't need all the bullshit gaslighting though. So here's Wendell Pierce. Wendell Pierce, this portly guy right here. That's behind the shoulder of Ricky Smiley in this graphic. That I put together. So okay, so here we go. So here it is. Actor Wendell Pierce gives message to black men. Yes, you're throughout this entire election this election season. Yeah, as far as on the black side, you're going to see a lot of this. We're trying to make sure that we're keeping black men in line. Get in line. Actor Wendell Pierce gives message to black men. There's blood on that ballot box. I found this article very interesting. Besides the headline that if you are a black man in America with an individual right to vote, then this kind of shit should concern you. This is why people say, "Oh man, you should listen to celebrities." This would be the right time to say it. all this celebrity worship, you know. Well, Wendell Pierce, I say he's probably a little. I mean, unless you watch The Wire, like I said, the Waiting to Exhale reference, where he rolled in the hay with Leela Roshan. I mean, you wouldn't know who Wendell Pierce is. Uh, I think he attacked a Bernie Sanders supporter. Yeah, he flipped out at. I mean, tried to beat somebody up over their support for Bernie Sanders. I mean, this is not. I mean, I should look it up to verify it, but you know, if you want to, somebody want to look it up, that's fine too. But like I said, I found this article very interesting because of some of the things that Mr. Pierce stated in this article. So it says actor Wendell Pierce issued a strong message to black men. That's us. That's us guys, you know, with our own individual ass right to vote. Yeah. There's blood on that ballot box. There's blood on it, man. I mean, shit. I mean, Michael Jackson had that son, blood is on the dance floor. And Wendell Pierce says there's blood on that ballot box. This is the kind of fucking shit that I'm talking about when people use the experiences of my family and my blood to try to push some bullshit message. Remember those who died in the rivers of Alabama and Mississippi. For them, do the honor and vote. Pierce, known for roles in The Wire and Suits. I didn't know he was in Suits. Told MSNBC's Joy Reid, oh, that's where you fucked up right there, Joy Reid, on the convention floor. Oh, God. So, what that shows is the person who wins the presidency doesn't actually hold the highest office. LOL, there's a high office suit. That's a bunch of AIPAC folks. If that's pronounced another way in the media, I'm sorry for not being more knowledgeable, but Rob is very knowledgeable in this kind of thing. So please check his channel out. Black Light Revelations 2. Aaron P, what's going on? If Obama would have married a white woman. Oh God. Oh God. That's a smoking gun right there. That is the smoking gun right there. There ain't no motherfucking way he'd have been president if he'd have married a white woman. No motherfucking way. I don't care what nobody say. Black people would not have rallied support for Barack Obama if I mean he walked in the White House with a black wife and 2 black daughters. It wasn't no way he could lose. I mean, if Obama would have married a white woman, they would have rolled him to the ground. Fact, DL straight up dick policing. Yeah, they would have rolled him up. DL sold out decades ago. You know what though? DL, I would say this. I wouldn't say decades. I probably would say decade. But DL used to try to be on some red pill shit back in like 2013, 2014. You know, all that red pill that they're about to launch a full on attack. It's probably I would say it's already a buzz term with the FBI. So yeah, Steve Harvey gets lots of flack, but DL is just as much of a yeah. So yeah, Steve Harvey's deserving of the flack that he gets because he's a guy that stated, a couple months ago that black people should stop expecting things for their vote. Stop expecting something for it. Just vote out of feeling. That's Steve Harvey right there. That's your boy. Simple to year, goddamn, But all right, let me let's see. He has campaigned and tried to connect with black men over the criminal justice system after facing his legal woes. But black voters remain a crucial base for Democrats, having helped secure President Biden and Vice President Harris. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Here's the part where it becomes just fucking gaslighting. I'm going to read this. I'm going to read this, guys, because I can read. Since Biden ended his re-election bid and Harris announced her candidacy, however, there has been speculation among black communities that black men would not vote for Harris for a variety of reasons, from her history as a prosecutor to concerns that black men would not be open to supporting a black woman. Hey, it makes these guys completely fucking irrelevant. Why go through the fucking trouble of saying what the fuck you say about black men? And Obama's guilty of this too. If they're just going to say this about black men, because there's plenty of goddamn black men that supporting this bullshit. Seriously, there's plenty of them in my family. I'm sure there's plenty of them in some of your families too. Okay, Pierce. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Pierce, though, said there should be no fear among black men to see a black woman rise to the top. And here's what he says. Oh shit. Oh God. It happened. Any black man that has an issue with a black woman rising, they have to look at their own inadequacy, Pierce said. What would make you so fearful of someone who was so beloved of you, who was so loving to you, like your mother? Yo, mama black. He pulled it, y'all. It happened. Yo, mama black. And your grandmother and your aunts and your sisters to put the icing on the cake that you cannot be proud and embolden yourself when you see someone from your community rise up. My daughter asked me today, well, you know, Kamala Harris is going to be the first president. No, she said Kamala. You know, I don't give a damn. But anyway, she said, Daddy, are you going to vote for her? I looked at my daughter and I said, I don't think I'm voting for either one of them motherfuckers. I have to keep, I'm sorry. You know, I know she's a girl. You know, I know that people think that, you know, just because, you know, I have a daughter, therefore, like, no, no, I want her to know all of how I feel, you know, and I soften the blow for her because I temper it to her age. But I mean, I cannot have her thinking this because she is going to run into disappointment with people on a regular basis if if she adopts this kind of thinking. And some of it I can't stop because you know I had to get that question came to me in the first place. Will you stay in a godnocracy? You had them people saying that kind of stuff. But yeah, like your mother, man. Like your mother, yeah. No, my mother was she's in a she was born in Alabama. Like, you know, she got black in her family. A lot of it, goddamn. So does my father. He was born in Alabama, in America, black. Yes, my mother is black, but uh, that's Kamala off black. That's not, you know, that she, and shout out to Rob. He brought up this brilliant point the other day. Like they don't ever talk to her black family. Don't nobody ever talk. They don't bring her black family into the spotlight. They probably trying to go find them now. You know, we need them guys that'll be good for damn politics. But like they, every time they refer to her, they refer to her South Asian side as they are very fit that they are very easily accessible for some reason. She verifies it by collards, y'all. But you know, this ain't about Kamala per se. It is about Kamala. You know, we got the presidential election coming up in November. Pierce added that voters have the right to ask Harris what she has done for the black community, but do their research at the same time. He pointed to the $2 billion that Biden Harris administration gave back to black farmers after they faced discrimination from the Department of Agriculture, investments in historically black colleges and universities, and student loan forgiveness, which, if I'm not mistaken, is not really student loan forgiveness because they're going to get that money out of the way. Historically black colleges and universities. HBCUs. Oh, there. I mean, hey, Didn't Biden cut some HBCU? Like, I hate vaguely remembering shit because that this gives rise to the narrative that smoking weed fucks your memory up. But didn't Biden cut something that Trump did for HBCU?
To the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. But act fast. The hottest deals of the summer won't last. Get in and get away now. Lease an Elantra for $179 a month, or get 1.9 for $179 a month, or get 1.99% APR for $6.
There you go. Ooh, sorry about that. So if you want to buy a Hyundai Elantra, that might have done you some good. If that's not enough for you to vote this campaign, why don't you go to the other and hold up a sign behind him and rally and tap dance? That's what they want. I mean, if that's what they're saying, man. If you are a black person and black man, because he addressed black men, because it's about time black men started addressing black men. But was he really addressing black men, or was he just saying some shit around a bunch of people that would agree with him? Because we have a huge problem with that. We do. The same Wendell Pierce that got arrested at the hotel suite. Yeah, for getting that was supposed to be that was supposed to be because he got in that fight, and it was over some political shit, I believe. Wherever the man marries gets on his program and culture. If a black man marries a Hispanic woman, she is tied to his culture. If a white man marries a black woman, she is subject to his culture. But you can't tell our people that, man. You can't tell our people that. Now, granted, Kamala or Kamala or whatever you want to call her, she was down with the Brown at one point. People do bring this up. I'm bringing it up for a different reason, because I did say something about Willie Brown earlier, and I'm saying something about Montel Williams. I mean, people have sex. That's what happens. People bump and grind. People do the nasty. People make bacon. I mean, but the reason why I'm showing you guys this image is because I want you guys to keep in mind is that she was always in that world. She was always in that world. She does. And when I say world, the world of celebrities, she's behind the gate. She's not in front of the gate. Yeah. And this was years and years and years ago. And I'm not gonna show you a picture of her family anymore. We've seen that picture of her family. The off black and the white people. Like it's just it's for the amount of dick policing that ensues in the black community to throw in all your support for somebody that's gonna walk a black person that is about to be elected to the highest office in the land, walking there holding a white person's hand. And yeah, I got a black wife, so that's what's DL Hughley's qualifier. But then that ain't even good enough. And I think about that. That ain't good enough. It ain't that I have a black wife, that I have an opinion on that. Yeah, that's not good enough. Because you got single big backs with an opinion that DL and Steve Harvey and all these other niggas up here on this graphic would accept. But I want y'all to keep in mind that Kamala is behind the gate. She works with the gatekeeper. She's in the club. She's been in the club for a long, long time. And this is why I ain't gonna say that because I'll say this. President Joe Biden should have been the best president in the history of the country. And the reason why I say this is because that man has been a politician for 50 years. All right. Blood on his name on it. What is so strong about the message? When a woman speaks through a man, I don't sense any strength in that. He was a voice vessel for feminists. That weak ass message, I think he's saying too deep. Obama, good God, a man, damn. Dude should give strong messages with facts and data, not attempt to speak to emotions and other men. You can always tell when dudes try to talk to the emotions of another man, it's suspect. Yeah, and this was massive gaslighting. Like, it's like there should be no fear among black men to see a black woman rise to the top. Why do they keep ingratiating her with that? Why do they keep doing that? I don't get why you believe that she should be given the same black reverence my mother from Alabama should get. This is why people treat celebrities like they're fucking stupid and you should not listen to them. I know I said that earlier, but I'm saying it again. So many of these black media pundits love playing the victim. They love painting black people as the victims. Bernie Mac, we call 3 of them out. Steve D.L. and Obama, to be honest, rest his soul. J.D. Vance and Trump passport presidents with non-American wives, making America great again. LOL. And a few people criticizing them for it. I ain't criticizing their marriages. Just another example. I mean, truth be told, you're allowed to criticize whatever you want. Just like I just got through saying Wendell Pierce. I don't want to see these men silenced. I don't. I don't want to. I don't want to see these men silenced. This is not why I'm doing this. I don't want to see these men silenced like they would want to see men like me silenced because we don't go with the status quo. What up, Marcus Romero Productions? What's good? When I read Bernie's book, he exposed Steve and Russell Simmons. Oh shit. Yeah. You gotta be careful with that shit. Motherfuckers be finding a way to get you out of here. Of black people giving white people. Oh, okay. I ain't criticizing their marriages. It's just another example of black people giving white people's white privilege. R.I.P. King of Comedy. Yeah, yeah. The guys that were left behind. What a shame. All of these cliches proves that the DNC has absolutely nothing, zero. I mean, but really, was the target demographic black people really is like we see all this stuff about black people and you hear two sides of it. You hear that one side saying that the black vote is very important and how much emphasis that there is on the black vote in the media and all of these articles and all these narratives that are actually targeting black men. You got a wave of black women pundits that did it. You got a wave of black men pundits and shills that do it too, because that's all DL Hughley is to me. DL Hughley is a shill. I have no desire to ever go see this man live whatsoever, him or Ricky Smiley or even Steve Harvey for that matter. I mean, I'm sure for some people it'll be something to see those guys speak, but no. I don't base my decisions on my mom. I sure don't either. I let my mom know at a very early age and more or less words. God rest her soul. It should be fighting words when these simps of today compare our mother. Yeah. Stop mentioning family as like a smoking gun. Like stop like people should stop doing that shit. Do not compare my mother to Kamala Harris. Now, If we're not talking about level of achievement, I'll go ahead and say that for the smart asses because they love to try. Yeah, because here's one thing I see in social media. There's like anybody that's criticizing Kamala Harris, and this is a post that's been going around. Anybody that's been criticizing Kamala Harris, let's see, put her list of accomplishments up against your list of accomplishments to see what we come up with. I said, well, I'm a registered fucking voter. That's my response to all of that. That should be your response too. You're a registered voter. You are registered. Yeah, and it's an insult. You're right. An insult. I will not let black women dictate what I do with happiness day now. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that should be understood when you wake up from day to day. Don Jizzle, interracial culture, hashtag SYSBM bros. Carlton Way one, what's good? The Democrat are racist because okay. Sunday's hot rod, what's going on? Shadow Stargate said, I don't take them serious, bro. Most black women will fall in line if a real brother put his foot down. People let this politics shit get them separated. Yeah. Like I said, this is the most divisive election, and if I don't even think it's gender, I think it's still ideals because there's enough black men that are voting for Kamala Harris. These guys are shooting themselves in the foot saying bullshit like that because they are in a demographic of black men, including Roland Martin. I know y'all gonna say like, who's Roland Martin? What Roland Martin are you talking about, Kev? I am talking about this Roland Martin right here.
Typical black girl magic. I don't know why people think that she's Indian. If she's Indian, fail to find it. Look out Indian. Fail to find it. That girl black. Through and through. She black. She act like a second sister girl.
Aquafina talks in a black scent, and it doesn't make her fucking black. How do you fail to see the Indian in her? She's got a whole fucking side in her family like that. Dude, like it's black people are trendsetters, I would say, It's like Paul Mooney said, everybody want to be a nigga, but don't nobody want to be a nigga. Black when convenient. I hate it because people who are actually black are fighting over this. When I say stuff like this is one of the most divisive elections ever, I'm talking about shit like that. It's like, why is this even an argument? She's not your black. She like I said, she's off black. Her heritage isn't our heritage. I'm sorry. I don't care if people don't like me saying that. I'm not going to give her a luxury that belongs to people like my mother. I'm sorry. If you want to start bringing mothers up, let's bring them up that way. I can play that game too. For guys like Wendell Pierce. People think that black men are forever children that need to be told what to do constantly because we can't possibly think for ourselves. Roland Martin ain't got no sense. Hey, that audio is actually not from Roland Martin. Let me go ahead and say that. I mean, if you're talking about the t-shirts, yeah, that's Roland Martin. To be deemed not competent enough. I'm not going to say incompetent because that sounds worse, which it might as well be. But to be deemed not confident enough to where I can't vote like a black man is very insulting to me. It is very insulting. So no, they do not speak for you. They can speak for you. You can make that choice all day. As a black man, you can make that choice all day. They can speak for you, but they don't speak for me. Period. It is what it is. Whatever decision I make on election day is the decision I'm going to make. I'm not going to be gaslit. And I hate to use this word right here because it somehow implies that I'm worried about shit like this. I will not be bullied. I'm immune to bullying. I mean, people try, I mean, internet online bullying for me is subjective. I mean, they'll try to do it through various tactics like your family, but you just got to shrug that off. But for the sake of the people listening and the general scope of society, I will not be bullied at all. Don't even attempt to try it. I will make my own decision. I am competent enough as a black man to make that decision. And these black men right here need to be competent enough to understand that they can make that decision too. I remember when that was ridiculous. I was I objected to it then when it first happened because I mean like he ain't black because and I mean people pick the most insane reasons. Yeah, he black. He got a dick sucked in the middle of the White House. Yeah, he black. He played the saxophone. Yeah, he black. He smoked weed. You know, they never say, he black. He love helping black people. You ever notice that? Whenever they try to give white people a black card, it's always about some feeling shit. It's never about anything tangible. You motherfuckers will give a black card to anybody. Like anybody. Shoot, they'd be trying to take black card away for the stupidest of fucking reason. Motherfucker born in America. Your fucking family members. All because you may not see eye to eye politically. Remember, Ricky Smiley said, you should be blocked on all social media because you are voting for Trump. If you don't support Kamala Harris, you are supporting Donald Trump. And that is dumb as fuck. If Kamala loses or wins, you think, yeah, he gonna cry either way. He gonna cry in the car. He gonna cry at CNN. Like I mean, either way, tears is coming out that dude's eyes. Either way, that's it. It's over with. Like Van Jones will cry either way. It'll be a gloom and doom scenario. You swear that Sauron from Lord of the Rings and touch down on the United States land if Trump wins. Oh God, the orcs are coming. Oh shit, I'm about to get eaten. They've been eating maggoty bread all day and they gonna fuck us up. Like that's how they gonna that's how Van Jones will be like. And then if Kamala wins, it's gonna be like, oh my God, I'm so proud of you, black women. Black women, black women, black women, black women. And ain't he married to a white woman? But black women, black women. And that will be looked at. I mean, Van Jones is gonna have to kiss a record amount of ass in order for people to avoid that fact because we're black men cannot avoid or dodge the dick police bullet. That's a dick police bullet bag. If you are people like Jaleel White and Nick Parker, you are a dick police bullet bag. And I really hate to use bullet bag together. That's kind of some bullshit. I mean, but I'm speaking metaphorically. These guys don't actually get shot. They just have to deal with constant badgering of dumb motherfuckers on all over social media. The real dumb motherfuckers, not the black men with podcasts. These toxic red pill pod. Like, oh geez. And we got New in the building. What's good? Shaka Nulu, ladies, well, lady and gent. We made the actor Michael Rappaport black. Why? Because he like black women. Like when white dudes sleep with black women, black men are guilty of this. We want to give them the black card. Man, that's a cool ass white boy. He dipping the chocolate. Well, that movie that Marlon Wayans, oh God, Marlon Wayans, he was drinking that experimental liquid. I think that was making him smarter. And his girlfriend's dad, he found out some white dude played by Rip Torn, I believe the actor's name was. Yeah, his girl, the actress playing his girlfriend was mixed chick, but the dude was white. So Marlon accepted it immediately. Oh, you be dipping in the chocolate. Oh, yeah, you've been sleeping with black women. That's what it is, though. And we made, and the irony of that shit. Remy from How I Learned It, the racist who killed Tyra Banks. Extremely ironic. The racist mailman from Next Friday. Black people in the UK don't vote at all in Parliament. Don't even care if we vote or not. Cause to them, our numbers ain't that significant, even though we're the second largest demographic in the country. You're the second largest demographic in the country, and you don't vote because your numbers. If you're the second largest demographic, your number is significant because you're the second largest demographic. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm not looking at it correctly, but I'm sorry to hear. I'm sorry to hear that your vote doesn't matter. But I mean, I really don't want to be one of those people that your vote doesn't matter people, because if vote mattered somehow, some type of way, it back in the day or whatever. But I mean, when people were getting killed for it. So I'm one of those guys that will say that, but I won't use it as a way to try to, promote someone that does not connect to our experience. And chose the other side. I mean, if we're gonna go by those rules, the deal is with black men should be to, you know, throw all these rules out, throw this colorism crap out, throw this interracial dating out. Everybody just do what the fuck they want to do and shut the fuck up. Shit. Ricky Smiley, block me on social media. I don't give a shit. That means, according to Ricky Smiley, if you are a black person, you are not allowed to think critically or to disagree somewhat. You always have to, if you're black, based on blackness, you have to 100% agree. Here's what I will say about that is that that's the majority of us across the board. We don't want to be challenged. We don't don't want our thought processes questioned. When I say we, I'm saying black folk. Some of us do. Some of us do. And then, like I said earlier, have you even tried to talk to a person that is Democratic leaning that is black? If you are black and you don't agree with their politics and you push back somewhat, they will treat you like an idiot. It will be no respect. To them is like they automatically default to the dumbass thinking. Oh, you must be for the Republicans. You must be for Donald Trump. Donald Trump is all this stuff the TV said he was. So damn you, black person. Even though it's the same motherfuckers, because see, niggas like this won't address this. The same motherfuckers that sit up there and talk about how Donald Trump fractured the country and we need to all come together and unify are the exact same folks that will shit on you and cut you off. Yeah, block you on social media and stuff like that. If you don't agree with their political views, it's hypocrisy. Same people dick police a black man every time he marry a white woman that's high profile. And same one, because you hear the conversation over and over again. You hear it in 2024, 2023, 2022, 2021, 2020, and so on and so forth. It's always been a concept that was shitted on when it came to a black man and a white woman. If you're going to support that, hey, you shit, support it all. These guys aren't going to say, they're not going to. They try to shepherd black men through black women. They treat us like, yeah, they do. To be honest, Trump is the lesser of two evils if we play that game. Well, I tell you the truth, man. The way a lot of people talk about Trump, you would swear that he wrote all of these racist laws and policies. Like he brought the Gestapo down on black communities all over the place. You would swear you would swear it like the way they talk about it. I mean, I'm just saying there are more stiffer times in history for black people than a Trump presidency. And if you say you're not going to vote, they say you may as well have voted for Trump. Like, kiss my ass. That's what I tell them motherfuckers, man. Don't approach me with that dumbass shit. Like like, you know, I don't want you to cause tension with your loved ones and shit, man. But it's like it's time the stupidity stops. We've all acknowledged that, you know, they treat us like children. That is very offensive. If you're a grown man over the age of 18, I'm sorry. Well, 18 is being kind of nice. Let's just say 21. If you're over the age of 21, man, and they have that little respect for you, fuck them. It's time to stop being verbally nice, I would say. You don't have to treat that with respect. They're not treating you with respect. And that's the point I'm trying to make with guys like this. I'm not saying be on page with me. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that you have to agree with me 100%, but for what Wendell Pierce said and what Ricky Smiley said and the bullshit D.L. Hughley said, the bullshit Steve Harvey said, the way Barack Obama set us all up, man, I swear, I waited to the last day of Obama's presidency for something to happen. I waited for the last day, the very last day. 200 million to Syria. Okay. Okay. Thanks. No thanks, Obama. These black men don't represent me, and that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. That is the conclusion at the end of the day. Just like them niggas that try to bring up my kid and marriage and shit like that. Fuck them niggas too. Don't be bringing up my goddamn mama. Stop bringing up our moms, okay? Stop bringing up our moms and conversations where we're talking about dating because, you know, unless there's a serious Oedipus complex going on, nobody's trying to screw their moms. And then to tell you the truth, I don't believe that any of us believe that our moms can be president. Truth be told, if my mom wanted to run for president, I'd be like, sit down. Sit down. We stop, please. I mean, you know, I ain't gonna lie to her. I mean, shit. So everybody all out there, oh man, he said he wouldn't let He wouldn't vote for his mom for president. No, I wouldn't. The hell do you mean? What? Like, are you what? If you get voted in, hey, that's great. That means that you have compelled and have been convincing enough to everybody understand knows that you understand policy. Policy. I think a civil war will break out if Kamala wins. Why would you say that? I think differently. I think people fall in line and deal with it. I think people just deal with it. I think that simping will be at an all-time high. Like I really do. Simping gonna be at sick levels. If she walk into that White House, which I believe she is, the simping is ooh. Uh, to be honest, I just look at who the mainstream media hates the most, and typically their economic policies go against the NWO, to be honest. Not all the time. Mostly those people usually have some common sense approach. If you are in a correct state, you want to think about what's going on in DC. You don't you think we should? Don't you think we should? You know, you have the demographic of people who complain about, every time something happens like real big, like, I mean, I think even Dave Chappelle joked about this, about, every time they need a distraction, they need Michael Jackson to touch another kid or something like that. It was like Michael be saying, "Nope, not this time. Nope." Like, no, it was funny night. But that's neither here nor there. But it's yeah. Well, the point I was trying to make was every time something big happens with a celebrity in the media, even with Diddy, you have to watch C-SPAN and see what they're up to. Like they're trying to pull some shit like vote that that surveillance tightens up on people's personal lives or some shit like that, but then they try to call it some other shit. And I love my mom. I love my mom too, but nah, I agree. My mama cannot be president. I'm sorry. It ain't gonna happen. I can't support such an idea. Man, I wish somebody would get mad at me for saying that shit too. I wish somebody would. Oh, oh, he hate his mom. No, I don't hate my mom. These rednecks ain't have her as president by a long shot. Yeah. R.I.P. is a female POTUS is funny. Yeah, that shit gonna be comedy gold. Are y'all sure y'all don't want to see that? Cause that shit might, man, that shit might be a fucking riot. Cause I mean, I already seen one interview where she said, "I'm the vice president of the United States." Like she was getting aggressive with that shit. So she said that as vice president. She damn gonna say some shit as president. And then everybody would justify it because everybody is fucking sheep. That's a woman. That's a black woman. They're gonna be playing all kinds of shit. All kinds of cards with that. Checking all kinds of boxes. Fragmented Sword 77. DL been bucking for Vlad TV. I guess I could drop the link for a little while. A civil war wouldn't happen. People are too pussy. Yeah. What about when old boy Micah X did that shit, man? There were people with guns walking around. There were people with guns walking around, and then Micah X attacks them same motherfuckers with guns, getting behind cars and shit. Like, oh shit, they here. Like, Oprah is president. Could you imagine it? No. Like, it could be a room full of black women. Would you vote for Oprah as president? I look them all in the eye and say no. Y'all don't know me for real. My black ass man. God damn. LOL. Putin's comments on it would be funny. Oh shit. Oh my god, a woman. That all that shit that they be complaining about in Disney, Marvel films and shit about how sexism exists. All that shit gonna come to fruition. All right. If someone wants to come up and tell me that these men somehow represent me just because they black men, I'm gonna go ahead and say that I am not a black woman. Just because you have a certain skin tone or people say that you are a certain race and you have the same equipment I got doesn't mean that I will automatically support you. Just like women do. The majority of women. And don't say it doesn't fucking happen because it does. This is the biggest example of crotch politics that I've ever seen in my life. Just cause. Like the thing is with the Obama presidency, I heard a lot of our people say bullshit like that Obama didn't have to do anything except get elected. So my thing is this. So like with guys like Steve Harvey, saying that he's tired of black people expecting something for their vote. Uh for Steve Harvey, why are we voting if we can't expect nothing for our vote?
Yeah, did you hear that when he said that? And notice how he was like so on his high horse. He was like, well, he thought he was saying something good. And I know what he doing because he up there with his radio people. See, like, yeah, 10,000, yeah, Dr. Umar, why he say something, because he say 10,000, that ain't enough for me to get out of my bed in the morning. Meanwhile, you got a lot of black people who 10,000, man, for one show, for one thing. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of black people right now do not make $10,000 a month. I will tell you that. And then, the way he said it like that, it was like, man, you know what I'm saying? I don't want nothing from Kamala Harris. I don't want nothing. I just want to get up here and say, I'm going to give all softball questions. I will not question her on nothing. And I'm telling you to vote for her. That is the most diabolical.
Yeah. So, vote for who you want. Cause here's my argument right here. Here's my argument right here. I'm the one, like I said, that there are certain folk, there are people, plenty of people in the civil rights movement that died for my right to vote. But if that's the case, that's it. All I gotta do is vote. It doesn't matter how I vote. All I gotta do is go vote. And that's it.
Well, that's the thing, right? People have died, especially us being from the South. And a lot of people have moved up north and, the diaspora, right? But for the most part, you talking about Alabama, you talking about Mississippi, you talking about Florida, Georgia. How many times, especially in Mississippi, Alabama, the two twin sisters of racism, right? That's why they both got their back up against each other because they both you're trying to figure out who's gonna be the most racist. Alabama and Mississippi. You know how many brothers and uncles and ancestors I got that used to tell me about how they was the Klan when the Klan was there, where they were burning down churches. Who was a lot of time the church will organize the voting thing, and it will burn our churches down, kill a man, will come there and find your name on the roll. Just if your name was on the roll to vote, never mind who you're voting for, just if your name was on the roll, they would come and burn your house down and kill you.
Yeah, that's man. Look, that period in history is very sensitive, bro. And it is what you just stated is part of the reason why your vote should not be a bullshit decision. It is the sacrifices that were unnecessary is the reason why you shouldn't bullshit your vote away. But you got too many people bullshitting their vote away and then get to all these little scuffles about it, which is dumb as fuck. And shout out to Donnie, YAS4W. What's good? My habitual line stepper brother. Long live. I mean, it's the same as wear a dress phone prank Ricky Smiley. Yep, that's him.
And Ricky to his situation. Now, I hate to talk about people's family, but I'm just saying this just to say it, man. Ricky done lost some cheery, man. You know what I'm saying? To violence in the street, man. You know what I'm saying? And he knows where this stuff come from, and he knows it. And he knows the typical, the brothers who ain't got, let's say, who can't get $10,000 to just lie to us all day on the radio. The brothers that's out here really just actually on the street, really dealing with this situation. Is it anything that we even hear about, some of the unnecessary taxing on brothers where, women that's got kids, kids ain't even the man kids, but yet and still we gonna run him down, the child support roll, take his money, take his license. So even going to work now to pay the debt that you allegedly owe to a kid that may or may not even be yours, you still have to go to work. So now you got to get stopped by the police. And now you got a whole caseload of stuff that don't even got to do with you. What about those men, Ricky Smiley, Van Jones, Roland Martin? What about those men? Do we not even speak of them? No, because we just want you to vote. And as Steve Harvey words, we won't ask Kamala to do nothing. And
oh hell no, just like I said, just like with Obama, Obama ain't had to do nothing but get elected. They're saying they're gonna do the same thing for Kamala. Kamala ain't got to do nothing but get elected. That's it. She ain't got to do nothing else but get elected. That's some bullshit.
Yeah, when he said that, I'm like, that was such the bullshit way, because I'm like, he trying to come back and clean it up. I heard him, he tried to come back and clean up because he got a lot of backlash with that $10,000 comment, because some people came and said, hey man, some black people don't make $30,000 a year. But here you are telling us to vote for these rich people. Meanwhile, you know what I'm saying? These people that you talking about, you actually kind of throwing them down. His PR people probably say, hey man, you need to come clean it up. And when he comes and cleans it up, he says, don't worry about what she's going to do for you. We have to vote for her. And then DL says it's the divine. He said it's divine that we vote for her. Like,
well, that's what they call God. That's what they call the black the black fraternities and sororities of HBCUs. Okay. They call them the Divine Nine.
Right.
Yeah, so the AKA is a part of that. Even though the AKAs has a very colorist history. If I could reference the paper bag test.
Oh yeah, they just started letting dark-skinned women in there just recently because it was very colorist. Because the AKAs was always known as the fine yellows. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah. I've never heard of that. I I know about the paper bag test.
Well, if you ask about the deltas, I know a lot of women that was, deltas. And I know a lot of women that was,
and I mean, I have an AK in my family. I have a couple best friends that are deltas. So it's no disrespect to them. There's no disrespect to them. When I say part about that shameful part in history about the paper bag test. And I mean, we don't try to focus on these kinds of things, when it comes to women, but their colorism and as it exists to this day. And for all of that, they pick the lightest motherfucker they can to represent because she's close to the White House and she got a white husband.
Okay, ask yourself this question then, Kevin. Now, with saying that, ask yourself this question, because now we're gonna go to the big D and the big R. If Condoleezza Rice, now minus her connections to the Bush White House, minus her connections to Dick Cheney and all that, let's just say she was a Republican black lady who was gonna run, do you think they would actually vote for her because she's black? And honestly, I mean, you could make the say that she's blacker.
The
if you wanna
only
start
black
doing that.
women, the only black women that are deemed problematic in the eyes of the media that are black women that are conservative leaning and Republican supporting and Trump supporting. Examples are Candace Owens, Stacey Dash, uh, Diamond and Silk.
Harris Faulkner.
Yeah, they amazingly, that's the only way that black women get disowned by the greater black society that we have here in the Western culture, which is not the overwhelming majority that support the Democratic Party.
Well, let's ask the question in. What did what's her name? Did she have any problems when she was in the Bush administration? Did she have some stuff that was scandals that was on her? Condoleezza, did she have any major scandals, or was anything tied back to her directly to any scandals or whatnot?
I don't remember. I don't remember if Condoleezza Rice was tied to any scandals, but I mean, as far as name sullying, she's not connected as far as I know. I mean, but Google
Well,
is
when I
our
remember,
friend.
I remember when Kanye West came out there after Katrina and got on the news and said George Bush doesn't care about black people. And I can remember them times, right? A lot of people wasn't really political astute at them times because we got a lot of people that don't remember that. But I remember that. I saw it live. And I remember when he said that, and during that time, we all was like, yeah, George Bush, he was the Trump, right? If they, make that to a thing. Like George Bush was the Democrats, basically he was their target. Like, yeah, George Bush, he stole the election, Al Gore and all this. He put the wars, this and that, we're anti-war. And, I remember when it was that. And as soon as that happened, okay, but then now once Trump get in and go and doing his thing, I see Obama and Bush, and then you can see Bush up there kissing Michelle Obama on the cheek. And I'm like, well, hold on. I thought y'all didn't like Bush. But why is he up there in the gallery kissing her on the cheek then?
Hey, what if it was your old lady, man? That was, Bush was kissing her on the cheek. Would you tell that former president to get off your woman?
Well, you know what I would say? I would be like, you know what? Now, them both being presidents, that's a good question. I would be like, hold up, bitch. Hey, you need to kind of go back. Don't let that nigga kiss you on. But then, you look at Jill Biden when her, let's take the white and the black out of it. You look at the cook that's married to Kamala when he kisses Jill Biden in the mouth at the State of the Union. I mean, I think that was a lot worse than Bush kissing.
What Jill Biden and Kamala's husband kiss each other in the mouth?
Kiss in the mouth at the State of the Union. They had the cameras there.
Oh God.
This is facts. This is facts. We could pull the video. This is at the State of the Union. He kissed her in the mouth, and I'm like, what is going on here?
Yeah. And the two people that some white folks kiss. Two things that some white folks kiss: each other's spouses and dogs. So it's normal shit, man. I mean, that's the world she's immersed in. Your next president. I mean, but let me ask you a question, because I think that it's a strong possibility that she's going to become president. What do you think her chances are?
Well, I'm gonna tell you this, and this is the straight up honest truth, because I'm looking at the amount of money that's being spent on this media campaign. I see the buck dancers that have taken their money, and I see one thing that happened this week. I think Arizona was one of them, and it's a couple of other states that have moved now. Texas should do it because we had 100,000 registration of voters, and it was like I think almost 60,000 of them was actually either dead people or people that were not allowed to vote. Let's just say that illegals. And so Arizona has put out a law saying that because most of the time when you go to the DMV, right, they got that checkbox that say, do you want to register to vote? So if you're giving licenses to illegals, then if they hit that checkbox, they get a registration. So, they might come back and count it later, but you know how we doing it now, they going to get us counted off. So if a lot of the states and the Republicans, they weak too, man. And they don't be doing what they're supposed to do. That should already be a law, and it's on the books. If you're not a citizen, you should not be allowed to vote. If they can stop that right there, then I think it kind of throws against Kamala's possible amount to get in. Now, if I'm wrong, people can come up, and tell. I feel like it's some smoke should come to the show. Clue, you still in the chat? Come up and tell me what you think about that, because I know you probably might have something to say. But Kev, to answer your question, I think that if other states, if Arizona, and mostly in the swing states, I would say, if Arizona being the main one, if Texas can come in and do theirs, I think they have already sued. And if they can sue and make it to where the illegals who got driver license, if they can set it to where they cannot vote, then that will actually help. But if they don't do nothing about that and they just let all the illegals vote, which I imagine that's their plan anyway, then yeah, I think it might be a chance heavily that Kamala could win. However, with RFK, that RFK deal, see, when RFK came in yesterday, when he said what he said, I think that added about a good 3 to 4, 5% of some. He even told some of his voters, because I was actually looking at the RFK, because most people say, if you're not voting for Kamala, like you say, you're voting for Trump. Well, no, man, sometimes people, I looked at Cornel West, I looked at RFK, I looked at a lot of people, man. You know what I'm saying? And
I'm a vote. I'm a write in Sugar Bear for president.
Oh, Sugar
why
Bear.
why are you writing in Sugar Bear? Because I used to love Super Golden Crisp, motherfucker. Like it, I don't know. It has that level of seriousness to me. Like,
well, what are your chances? I would say at this point with RFKs, because it looked like the amount of money they're throwing against with Kamala, I would say that they have brought up the polls to almost a 50-50 deal. And if it's 50-50, they can always play with it with a couple of votes. Remember the last election, what was decided by under 100,000 votes. So if they got it at 50-50, if RFK tells the people, hey man, y'all vote, and we're gonna give him a cabinet position. So now he's guaranteed a cabinet position now. And then they said we're gonna put him in charge of CIA, and we're gonna find out who really killed my uncle and my daddy. Now that's a red herring, right?
Yeah. But it's I mean I don't know, man. I'm just not very comfortable at this point. it just and I mean, I guess I'm not supposed to be. And that's cool. That's cool. But
So what would you say? Are you giving it a 50-50? If you had to put your money on the line right now, and they've got a poly bet thing or whatever, it was at first, it was like 60-40 Trump. It has come down to 50. And these is real people money. It's like stock market. They betting on Vegas with this shit. So right now it's like 53% Trump and like 47, I think, Kamala. If you had to put money on it, just on as we stand now, if you had to put money on it, who would you put your money on?
I'll put my money on Harris.
Okay, you gonna bet the bank on Harris?
What you mean, all my money?
I mean, all you got to
all $2 in my pocket. Yeah, I'm putting it on Harris, man. Need $2 in my pocket, man. Shit. I don't like to gamble, bro. But even speaking in a hypothetical sense, I just think she's gonna walk in that White House, man. I just really believe she is, man. And I don't know, maybe it's me coping, maybe it's me trying to find a way to accept it, and then I don't think that at the end of the day, her getting elected will not be good for black men.
I'm just saying that
every other black
I'm
man.
with you. I'm almost with it. If it's 50-50, I'm with you. Like, I think Kamala will win, but just as of yesterday, when RFK and what's crazy is a lot of some of the race. Let's go to the race thing, right? It's a lot of people who is Trump supporters that are maybe on the racist spectrum of things. However, what I will say is this: most of the time, if Trump would ever try to bring in somebody from the liberal or Democratic side, the actual Trump supporters, those type of races, they ain't gonna want to see RFK. But what I saw yesterday, they was it was a lot of support, man. It was a lot of support for RFK, and he didn't even want to do it. But I think that the fact that he wasn't able to get his Secret Service protection as a high level. I mean, RFK, come on, his daddy and his uncle was killed. You would think we will give him some kind of Secret Service protection. And the only person that said anything about him not getting it was Trump. And that's sad because the Democrats have lost that. They could at least kept it neutral by giving him a little bit of protection, but I guess it's the fact that we don't want to have a Democratic election and anybody to actually come to a primary. We decided we was going to go with Joe Biden, and once we couldn't, finagle him anymore, now we're going to give all the money and all the delegates to Kamala without
that motherfucker's brain is finagled. Like we gotta understand, man. These same dudes on this screen, like many of us, were about to put a man with mashed potatoes for brain in the back of the White House, or vote that way. They were ready to do that. That's the you have to understand in everything we are saying. That's the mentality that we're dealing with, and it's a shame.
What do you think the outlook of it? Because like the man said, if she gets in the office, let's just say there's heavy voter irregularity, let's just say that. Do you think it'll be, they can't do January 6th again, obviously. So
no, they can't. Look. We will not ever suggest any type of anti-government. What will happen
is like if you look at the January 6th, how they played it, right? And a lot of the people was let in. You know what I'm saying? They had it as like, oh, it's the biggest thing or whatever, insurrection, this and that. But what I'm saying is, I don't think it'll happen like that because people keep saying that word civil war, and I don't think they really know what that means. Because now the Civil War is not like was back in the days where you had the South was in the Confederacy and the North had the Union, where they actually had standing armies that will fight against each other, generals, colonels that was actually down for Confederates, and then you had the Union, Ulysses, and then you had Jefferson Davis in the South and the other boy.
And then the white men that fought in the Union were painted as these good guys, like Ulysses. You're talking about Ulysses Grant, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ulysses S. Grant. Yes, sir.
And then you had Robert E. Lee and Jefferson Davis. Those motherfuckers.
Right. Dixie.
Yeah, but to imply or suggest that either side was good, I don't know. I'll just say I wasn't around back then. But no, I don't think a civil war will happen. We got too many existing conveniences, I would say. People don't want to be taken away from their TikTok. But if Kamala gets elected, that's something we got to deal with for 4 years. It's not like I'm crawl all over myself and die and be like, oh my God, she's the president. But like I said before, and I say it again, it's not going to be good for black men. I mean, think about the climate of black women who actually represent the Democratic Party. I mean, inside the Democratic Party. Every time they have something publicly to say about black men, it's just it's just that will be the kind of the shadow that's in the little undercurrent that's in this Kamala presidency. All I'm saying, black man, is good luck. I'm not trying to strike some type of fear into you guys, but definitely, man, these niggas right here ain't it. I mean, they can say what they want to say, but they ain't it. So,
Well, I'm looking at inflation right now, brother, too. And when we go down to the numbers, right, the nuts and bolts of this stuff. I looked at the inflation rate. They are saying that they're going to change interest rates. They say if they can get inflation down to 2%, that is where they're looking to get it at. And they're saying that by September, they've got a big thing that's supposed to happen, right? They're saying in September, they're going to try to either reduce the interest rate or in some way be able to hold inflation as it is. However, here's the problem. I think that a lot of the stuff that they're doing, they just saying they just not saying the loud part out loud. They're being very quiet because they could do all this pricing. She said she want to do price gauging, and I know she was reading that on the teleprompter and on her iPad. They got in the damn thing. It's gouging. Okay, it's not gauging. So if you're gonna do communist price controls, because that's what be price control. The free market works because if the grocery store down the street is charging $10 for eggs and the grocery store down the other street then got them for $5, then everybody just gonna go and buy the eggs at the place with the $5. If you start making people do stuff, then you either make it where they cannot do business, so then the grocery store will close. And what do we have in a lot of black neighborhoods that we cry about all the time? Food deserts. Okay, and we don't have no grocery stores want to come in there. So do you think it's going to make that better or make it worse? Obviously, it's going to be worse. And then Walmart takes it all over again. No mom and pops, nobody else, no competition. Amazon takes the rest, and it's very hard for anybody to actually come up. What I'm saying is this: they're forgetting what drives the economy on the bottom end. Yeah, government controls regulation, inflation. We know. But
the more money
costs. So if you drive that energy price down, the truckers can take more loads to the store for a less diesel price. Eventually, the competitive side of even the trucks taking the stuff from the distributor to the actual store retail is going to drive the price down because you will have more truckers that will take more contracts because the gas is lower. It's going to it just makes sense. That right there is what we miss because they don't want to tell us that. They've actually released some of the leases to drill, baby, drill, but they can't say that because they're the progress of climate change. So they don't want to do too much. But if we did become back where we're supposed to be at, energy, not only energy independent, but energy dominant, where we can put more oil on the market to where we can lower the price globally based on our exports and then have our domestic thing. I mean, at this point, have we forgotten that Joe Biden went into our strategic reserve down there in Louisiana? We got a big old salt mine where we just pump millions of gallons of oil into. Have we forgot that he took stuff out of our stuff for our wartime chest to bring down the gas prices 2 cents? Why would we do that? Why don't we just let the people drill and keep on drilling and get our money? No, we're going to go into what we need. If we had to have a serious fight with somebody, to take for 2 cents. I mean, come on. Shit. Trump had it down to $1.50. I seen $1.29 for almost 3.5 years till COVID came out. It's $1.29. Gas.
And that's what we need. We need cheaper gas to put in our cars. I mean, and I'm not even so much saying that as a joke. Man, it's like people are interested in what puts more money in our pocket, and for the way that the inflation rate is going, um, you know, they're forgetting that the more money that is in our pockets, the more money we will spend as a society, and this will get this economy going. But they don't want that.
Forgetting that. Also, they're forgetting BlackRock, where BlackRock is using their money not only to do things in the media, they're actually doing the DEI. There's half of the BlackRock money is going for DEI. See what I'm saying? DEI.
Oh yeah. They're responsible for a lot of this crap that's being put in the media these days.
Yeah, because they give you money if there's a checkbox. If you got a gay character, if you got a lesbian, if they have a check mark and they give you based on your amount of people that actually watch your content or your movie or whatever, they give you more money based on how many gay characters you got in there. Can you make the men as weak and limp-wristed and flaccid as possible? Okay, that's another
because of toxic masculinity.
Meanwhile, they buying up the houses now. Cause look, they buying up the house. I done seen them what they doing. I even got into it with the realtors because I was trying to buy a house. I had $80,000 cash on a house that ain't worth nothing but 90. And I said, man, come on, let's go and finance it out. They wouldn't do it because BlackRock had artificially set the money where they was finna sell their house for $145,000. And I'm like, that house is not worth 100. It's worth 65. With inflation, maybe 75. I'm gonna give you 80 cash. We'll finance. Or you want 102? We'll finance the other 20. Oh no, the bank don't want to take that because that's not enough money. Well, it's actually less risk than if you was to loan me 80,000. Oh well, he told me, man, I'm gonna just be honest with you, man. BlackRock, they setting the prices, and they got this house to 102, and I can't sell it to you because they're gonna, guarantee me this money. And I'm like, you know what? That's funny that you say that. And they have bought out whole neighborhoods, and now you can't even buy it because now they run the house up to now it's $300,000, and now if you want to rent it, it's $1,600 when it was just $800 3 years ago. You can't make this shit up, dog.
Not at all. Not at all. This is whatever beats the shit out of us, and it helps them. But listen, man, I'm about to wrap this up, man. I'm about to head to sleep because even though it's Sunday, the money never stops. So,
hey, look, if we actually coming into the early Sunday, I thought we might have got some smoke, but you put the link. I didn't smell no smoke. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, I mean, this ain't the smoke show. The smoke show is the next show. So, if somebody want to come through for that one, that's fine. I mean, but you know how they turn out. Yeah. So you got a final word to put in, anything about, I mean, if there was a black man that'll represent you, what qualities must he show?
What I would say is, brother, first off, pockets, your wallet, man. I would hear it in his voice. A brother that represent me would come strictly with the wallet. Hey, I'm going to give you more money in your pocket from the regulations and from the taxes and ability to be able to get your bread. I need to hear that in his voice. Okay. Also, I need to hear him say, and it's for black brothers, specifically a brother, not a man, but just a black man. I would like to hear some type of paternity, child support, reform. I will have to hear some of that as well. Okay, I know that's gonna be hard on the women vote, but if you ask me for a man, yeah, I would want him to address that. And I would also want to address the energy prices, because at the end of the day, we know as men, we gotta take the car to go to the grocery store. We gotta put gas in our old lady car, or we gotta buy houses, and we gotta, deal with inflation. I would want him to address that strictly as it pertains to men making $30,000 to $150,000 a year, because that will kind of get most of the black men that's in there. I would want him to speak on that. And if he did, I think that would definitely get my vote. So to answer your question, that will be the the things I want him as policy to cover.
Yeah, great answer. But you trying to get the best answer possible. Man, I was really speaking about something much simpler, but thanks anyway. I was gonna say quite simply, the guy must possess a spine.
Well, he gonna have to possess a spine because
it's too
if he
many.
says anything about women and paternity, and he says anything about that, that is fucking red coat. They gonna drag you down. But most people rely on the women vote. But I would have to vote for him if he said that. The optimal candidate. We know we may not ever get that, but I mean, there's hope, right?
Yeah, I believe that the black vote at this point is being used as a buffer, just in case. Because I mean, from what I hear, I think we're the third largest voting block now. We used to be number 2, now we're number 3. So I mean, you can take that information how y'all want or something like that. I may be a tad bit inaccurate, but this is what I'm hearing. That black people are the third voter demographic right now. But I mean, shoot, but you can matter.
But when you separate the voting thing, though, the third ain't so bad, right? Top 3. But when you separate it now, when you got these leftist commentators that we speak on all the time, they put their voices out there so we can speak on them. The Steve Harveys, the DLs, the Ricky Smileys, the Van Jones. When you Roland Martin, insert name here, it's plenty of them to go around. When you look at those guys, they are the paid opposition that worked previously. Al Sharpton's, they were. Now there's a split, so there is a problem because now, even if we third, well, some of us, we're not going to just vote for bull crap and virtue signaling. So we separate ourselves even more. And to what the Sun is Hot Raw was saying is that in 3% in the UK, I understand why they don't care about that vote. But if 50% of the people is conservative and 50% of the people is liberal, if you could just get that 3% or that 15% or whatever it is from black people, that could sway the election. So our vote, although we may think, well, we are a minority, but we have to also think about it. If it's straight up down the middle, if we did make a move, that 3% might actually get the candidate that we support to get over. So I like to say that let's not all think couch is just the greatest thing. Hey, I'm not telling you who to vote for. Like you say, man, you vote for who you want to vote for, but let's not think of it as our vote don't mean nothing at all, because if it didn't mean anything at all, why would they spend so much money to convince us otherwise? And I'll leave it at that, brother.
Yeah. Hey, and also, do you know what these guys are saying? For real? Like all these guys, the Wendell Pierces and the D.L. Hugleys and the Ricky Smileys, and I'll leave y'all with that.
Man, that's a female.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, thank you for the Cash App, Shatterstar. I really appreciate your support.
No doubt.
I'm about to get out of here, but I will say this as a final word. We try to, be, as far as, big upping each other over here as black men. And, we try to be, there for each other as much as possible and somewhat supportive, you know what I'm saying? But if you on some bullshit for real, I ain't gotta support you. I ain't gotta be that way. And it's nobody that can tell me that black men are that way, because we generally aren't on each other's side like that. There's always some black man that's out there trying to prove that he stands above the other black men in some way, shape, or form, and the way they're choosing this time is to use politics that don't give a damn about you motherfuckers either way. And I don't mind saying that. So if you want to live in the illusion that they actually give a damn about you, you knock yourself out. You knock yourself out. Some of us can actually see what's going on. Some of us, and I'm not trying to ingratiate myself to such a sensible position, But I will say this, man. I will say this. If you are going to use your platform to shame like these gentlemen have done, I would go beyond the basic cookie cutter attacks that everybody else has been using for years. Because the you can tell where they get this shit from. The Yo Mama Black. Yo Mama Black is one of the dumbest things that one of the dumbest points that anyone could ever make to me. Period. It's like it should be, like Rob said earlier, should be offensive to you. Yo Mama Black. Think about the history and all this other shit.
Yeah, but
All
would
the
you
more
want your
all the
mother
mo-
to be in charge of that though? Like you said, what the man said earlier, that was a great point. And it was just like, would you want your mother? My mother's a teacher and she loves people. Even some of the kids that she used to try to mentor, some of them wasn't about shit, but my mother just loved the hell out of them. They wind up being no good motherfuckers because she's a pacifist. Sometimes you need a person in office that's going to be solid and straight up. If we see the problem over here, we need to take it out. And not only do we need to take it out, but we don't need to let them sit there and stew, because sometimes they will do that. In this situation that we deal with global politics, they will sit there and let the damn terrorists stew just so that they can be able to have someone to fight later in a war that we don't agree with. So I wouldn't want my mother to be involved in that. I need a hard-nosed SOB to get up in there, don't run his mouth about what we're going to do. I used to hear Obama would say, well, we're going to go and attack somebody in this day. I'm like, what? Nigga, you don't tell people when we're going to do stuff. You just do it. That way you knock them out. You tell them where they're going to attack it. They're going to make sure the people ain't there. Fool. Okay. I mean, you don't want people like that in charge of it. So my mother, love her to death. Maybe Secretary of Education, but definitely not president, brother. I agree.
All right. And with that being said, I'm out. I'm out. So long live the habitual line steppers. Smoke Show is the next show. See you then. Peace.
Thank you.